Hi, my name's Jarvis, and welcome to the third step of the bridge model. In the first step, we talked about the desired situation. That is what a customer wants to have. We talked about the two parts of that. The first part being establishing an outcome, the measurable evidence that they know they've achieved their goal. The second part being the why they want the goal, the benefits, the effects they'll get from having the goal. In the second step, we talked about the current situation, and there were two parts to that. The client describes their current situation in terms of the symptoms, what is happening at this moment in time in relation to the goal, the things they're doing that are working and the things that aren't working so well. And then what we did, we talked about getting beneath those, identifying the underlying causes, the things that are creating these symptoms. What happens for a client is they compare the two situations. So first of all, you identify the desired situation, and then you get them to discuss the current situation. And automatically, the mind is doing a contrast between these two. And is identifying the gaps. What are the difference between the desired and the current? And as a consequence, the client begins to move mentally towards the desired situation by filling in these gaps. And these gaps are the solutions. So as I'm sure you're aware now, that by doing it this way, the customer will naturally begin to come up with their own solutions. They'll begin to take ownership and responsibility for deciding what they need to do to change. And this is critical in the coaching process. Often when I talk to personal trainers, they see themselves as the expert, and what they do is they provide advice to the customer. That's okay when it comes to exercise prescription and things like that. But when it comes to changing habits, which is critical in terms of the customer achieving the goals they want, actually the experts can only be the customer themselves. So this is working on the basis that the customer has the solution inside themselves. What we're there to do is help them uncover that. And for me, the desired situation and the current situation are the same. The only difference being in the current situation, the client can't see some of those things. So as a coach, what you're doing is you're helping facilitate the process where they're unravelled for the client. And by doing so, the client recognises what he or she needs to do to move forward. And there are two parts to that in terms of the solutions. The first is what we call the big rocks, the major things that they need to work on to change. That, for example, if somebody is looking to lose weight, that could be change their eating habits, patterns. It could be taking up exercise. So it's the major things that they need to establish. And then what they do is they chunk those down into smaller actions. The things they need to do this week, and then the following week. So by doing this, what you're doing is making it easier for a customer to identify the small steps they need to take. And it works on a very simple basis. If you take the small steps, one by one, then the bigger outcomes are achieved, and then the big desired situation is achieved. But to do that effectively, you've got to ask the questions in the right order. Most people will naturally go to the current situation first. But what we do is take them to the desired situation, then get them to compare that with the current situation. Because if you do that comparison, the person's mind naturally wants to go back to this place, so they'll fill in the solutions. So I'm going to give you some more examples of how I do that with some personal trainers. And then it'd be great if you went out yourselves, practiced it, discovered how it works for you, and then post any questions or comments that you might have. I wish you the best of luck.